there we go. We come to the end of Clash of the Champions 33 and the August 12th Nitro from 96. But now we have to find out, Kev, Blade, what Dave Meltzer had to say.
That's right, it's time to find out what did Dave Meltzer say.
Well, you know what? I mean, I'd have to give that 5 stars.
Rumor has it that Mabel is going to be the third guy.
Here we go. I believe this is from the August 26th edition of the Wrestling Observer. There's a few things to say here. According to several sources, WWF is considering adding a weekly Saturday night pay-per-view show. A weekly Saturday night? Really? The experimental 1-hour show will be done live every Saturday night from New York City starting at midnight and be heavily aimed at an adult audience, more like ECW, and push the envelope. Okay, so he's talking about Shotgun Saturday night. It wasn't a pay-per-view, dickhead. WWF has floated the idea to pay-per-view providers, and so far none have expressed much interest. The ideas for the show to be $9.95 each week. I don't believe this. Dave crunches the numbers and estimates they would probably have to do around 62,000 buys each week in order to break even. I'm not even going to finish off that fucking paragraph. Who cares? Sorry, boys. Who cares? Let's get to the real stuff here, which involves WCW. Dave says the reason WWF is attempting this likely stems from the fact WCW is absolutely kicking their ass in the adult market ratings. 80% of Nitro's viewers are adults, while only 62% of Raw's are. It's only 18%.
What about the demo?
Fuck me. The idea is to try and win back the adult viewers from WCW by doing a Saturday night show. Why would that go to Raw then? There's also a problem with New York commissions who are... Oh, God, who cares, dude? When ECW did a recent show in New York City, the commission laid out all sorts of ground rules that basically eliminated all the things that make ECW what it is. No fighting outside the ring, no foul language, no blading. A Saturday night TV show would also have house show business because WWF runs house shows every Saturday night. Blah, 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 blah. God, he writes too much shit that doesn't matter. Sorry, boys. I thought I got to the next subject and ended up on the same subject. Speaking of commentary, Mike Tenay is expected to be added as the third man at the WCW Nitro commentary table alongside Eric Bischoff and Bobby Heenan during the second hour of the show. Boys, do you think that's well-deserved?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Snake getting a little promotion. I like it.
He's different, you know. He's not. It's not like you're just adding another guy. It's just the same thing. He's got a different, you know.
He kind of does what I feel like Excalibur does in AEW, but he does it well. and not obnoxiously.
And it doesn't annoy you when you hear him say things, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got 4 more things to talk about here that Dave Meltzer said. The WWF-WCW lawsuit was settled out of court this week before it could go to trial. WCW agreed not to refer to Scott Hall or Kevin Nash as the bad guy or Big Daddy Cool, respectively. They haven't referred to them as that at all. Sorry. WCW is also not allowed to state that they work for WWF. Okay.
They said they didn't.
I said that at Great American Bash. WCW wasn't planning to do any of that anyway, so it was an easy settlement. WWF is still moving forward with a separate lawsuit for trademark infringement. WWF reportedly got a hold of some internal WCW memos, where Hall and Nash were referred to by their WWF gimmick names. What? They're not going to call them Razor Ramon and Diesel on Nitro. That sounds like horseshit. Boys, come on.
Yeah.
An internal memo. Fuck off. Okay. WCW had Clash of the Champions that felt like just another Nitro episode. That could be fair.
Bullshit. I thought it felt a bit more like a pay-per-view, to be honest with you.
Well, you know, the Hogan Flair thing made it feel, you know, epic and of note. Chris Jericho was scheduled to debut on the show, but they decided a few days before to delay his debut and push it back the match. Which is unfortunate because no one told Jericho and he was confused when a plane ticket to fly him out to the show never arrived. Jericho is now scheduled to debut on Nitro next week. Jericho is a fucking mark and he clearly fucking talks to Meltzer. How would he know that? The only person that would know that is Jericho. So if Jericho didn't, if he wasn't a stooge for Meltzer, then Meltzer just lied. So either way, it's annoying. Can you guys see Jericho's a stooge? I can see it. I can see it. Fucking dickhead. Fourth member of the nWo is expected to debut at Fall Brawl. I'm sorry, guys, I'm getting tired. If he's released from his contract in time, expect it to be 123 Kid. If not, then no telling who. Ted DiBiase will join WCW before the show, so it could be him, but he's not going to be wrestling due to injury and insurance reasons. And Jeff Jarrett won't be available until after the show, so it won't be him either. Really? Really? It may end up being a WCW star turning. So, guys, it's any possibility.
Yeah. This is the good old Meltzer putting a bet on every single horse and then getting one right and going, yes, I got it.
Like when he was trying to pick the third man and he
Yeah.
was fucking mentioning everyone under the sun. Last thing, boys, I'm very sorry. Despite WWE, oh, this stinks of shit to me. Despite WWF's past threats to file a lawsuit against Lex Luger for jumping ship to WCW without notice, those plans have been dropped. Even though he jumped ship in fucking 95. We're talking about that now. Apparently, Luger's story about not being under contract at the time he left is true. So there's nothing they could do. Someone in WWF obviously dropped the ball on letting that happen. Why are we talking about this in the August 26, 1996 edition of The Observer? That's boys, come on. Blade, just please wreck him for me. Bring the
like this is the part of the podcast I dread like every week. Like, because it like, it's not that it's boring, it's actually quite interesting, but it brings up like such negative emotions and feelings that I don't want to be irritated. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be relaxed. I'm on holidays, as we talked about at the top of the show. Instead, I have to put up with this horse shit. It annoys me greatly. Like, this has actually made my night worse.
Does he just like have a preconceived feeling about he just doesn't like WCW? He's never going to like them. So he's got to constantly like put shit out there to put them down. Like, why bring up the Luger thing at this point in time?
And it's that sort of thing where, and I know we touched about it, I think, on a previous, what did Dave Meltzer say? But this to me is just like that blueprint or that foundation for all that tribalist like bullshit in wrestling, and like at this point, I almost feel like if you could look back, the power of hindsight and be like, man, actually having like a well-financed, legitimate competitor to WWF, WWE is a fucking good thing for the industry, because look what happened after that.
It was fucking shit.
Yeah, as a wasteland. Terrible.
Kev.
Fucking idiot.
Kev, anything to follow up here about what Dave Meltzer had to say?
Well, judging by the stories before you were reading and how boring and just bullshit they were, obviously it's a hard week and he's got to come up with something. And he's come up with some shit he's dragged from the past just to make up his newsletter, I guess. And people were they paying back then for this, or
they paid, and then he sent the newsletter to their house.
You morons.
Like, honestly, it's so much fucking boring shit. Like, I when I read these out, I don't know what he wrote until I read it. So early on, I was reading it beforehand, but now I wanted to be surprised as I said it. The first two paragraphs, to have to give up halfway through because it's just drivel, and to bring up stuff that doesn't even matter. Like, I don't know.
If you're a fan and you want to waste money on rumors and hearsay, fucking call Gene in the hotline. At least that money goes in his pocket. At least he's backstage. At least he actually maybe knows something. He may not tell you anything, but he's there.
And you get his exclusive hotline report on 1-900-909-9900.